and gentlemen, I know why you're here. It's to take advantage of a fantastic opportunity. Let's spell that word together, shall we? O-P-P-O. Oh, you know how to spell opportunity, yeah. Now add the words of a lifetime.
Of a lifetime.
That's right, opportunity of a lifetime.
This guy's a crackpot.
Now, I can tell that you folks are from good stock. You are hardy, robust. You believe in honest work and wholesome fun, and you want to pass those values on to your family. Yes, I said family. Take a look at this river over here. They call it the Mississippi. Oh, what a romantic sight. Oh, you'll have a passel full of kids, or my name isn't Ignatius Donnelly.
Festus, we're gonna have kids!
So just what kind of opportunity is this?
I'm glad you asked. Where you're standing right now will rival New York City within 10 years, 1865 at the latest. And this is your chance to get in on the ground floor, so to speak.
Ground floor of what?
There are 3,800 lots here, which will form the core of our new city. And you can buy any one of them for the rock-bottom price of $500. That's so cheap you should buy 2. Heck, buy 10 and watch your investment pay big dividends as this city becomes the crossroads of industry and trade.
Yeah, but you know, it says here in this newspaper I got back in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's my Emigrant Aid Journal, sir.
Yeah. It says fresh air or free air with the purchase of every lot. Now, isn't that misleading?
No, that's marketing.
Everybody, take a nice big breath with me. That is the smell of manure.
Utopia.
Huh, you'd have myopia.
Lifetime opportunities? You'll find a cornucopia. Hey, that rhymes.
Yeah, and we'd be better off in Ethiopia. So does that.
Aren't winters supposed to be cold here in Minnesota?
Well, you just wait until I become governor, and I'll take care of that little problem.
Tell me, young lady, would you like to be wealthy, yes or no? I thought so. Now you just tell Mom there that a mere $500 could buy you a future full of happiness.
How many people do we have here of German descent? Let's see those hands. All right, something special for you. You're going to enjoy the fact that we'll have a brewery that sells 10 kinds of beer. What do you think about that, my Jewish friends?
Yeah, well, I'm Irish.
I thought so. I can smell the whiskey.
Hey.
Well, you'll be glad to know that we'll have a statue of St. Patrick in the village square.
Oh, what are you gonna call this place? Donnellyville?
Oh, no. I am much too modest for anything like that. We'll name this town after a man of honesty, a man of integrity, a man who, frankly, had the money available to invest in this parcel of land. We'll call it Nininger. Now just put down your name and how many lots you'd like to buy.
I think this Donnelly is a man who's going somewhere great. Perhaps the governor's mansion if this place becomes a state. He's got that politician's gift for maneuvering the truth. So be careful what you do for him inside that voting booth. Ignatius, Ignatius, would you be so gracious to tell us how the future looks to you? Will the fortunes of the people rise or only politicians' lies? Ignatius, how's the future look to you? He's got a feeling for the people, working for a life.
He'll cheat them out of house and home, so be careful with your wife.
Is he a wild, eccentric populist who's way beyond rebuke? Or is he more of a cunning fox, a sneaky, shifty kook? Ignatius, Ignatius, you're certainly loquacious, but is there any truth to what you do? Are you reckless? Are you wise? Look in the mirror, let us see your eyes. And is there any truth to what you do? With an I-G-N-A-T-I-U-S. How your mother chose a name like that, we can only guess.
write those wacky books.
Ignatius, how's the future look to you?
You didn't buy one of those lots from that crackpot, did you?
No,
Huh, that's good.
I think I bought 5.
5?
Well, he said by 1865 they're going to be worth 10 times what I paid for them. You know, the New York City of the West.
Well, in 10 years, nobody's going to remember the name Integer. There's a panic coming on it. Could be a downright depression.
You mean?
Yeah, you just threw all your money away.
Oh, hey, you crackpot!
How many of you folks out there bought a lot from that crackpot? You've been hoodwinked.
Ah, oofta.
Shane, are you okay? Can I help you out? Oofda! Minnie, don't
Oofda.
Ew.
Oofda? Oofda?
What's oofta?
You're not Norwegian, are you? Let's tell her what oofda is, gang.
Yeah.
Oofda's trying to polka when the band plays rock and roll.
Oofda's when you put your tongue in as
You for Shane, you.
Oofda's when your pocketbook falls down the outhouse hole.
Oofta's when you find out your preacher's on parole.
Oof is when the waitress says, "We're running out of beer."
Oofda's when your father says you're grounded for a year. Oofda's when a pothole makes your smart car disappear.
There's a war tick right inside my ear.
Oh, oofda!
My toes are froze.
Oofda!
Got a runny nose.
Oofda! The Vikings lose.
Oofda!
There's no Sunday booze.
Oofda! Crazy Minnesota skiers think we filled the quota. We're not normal, one iota. Oofda! Oofda's when there's zebra muscles sticking to your boat.
Oofta's when the plumber's bill is double what he quotes.
Oofda's when you're frozen to the holodazzle float.
The smorgasbord I ate last night is causing me to bloat.
Oofda, my bikini photo wound up on the net.
Again? Oofta's when a flock of birds poops on my Corvette.
Oofda's when my daughter bought a python for a pet.
Today's our anniversary, and how could you forget?
Oh,
Where my gold teeth go?
Oofda! Suck my little toe.
Oofta! Take my pill?
Oofda!
Traffic standing still.
Oofda! Skyway so confusing. Last night's girl tattoo is bruising. Far more accent, not amusing. Oofda! Oofda!
Car won't start.
Oofda!
At modern art.
Oofda!
Dome fell down.
Oofda!
Traffic jam downtown.
Oofda! Aiken to Zumbrota. Pop is what we say persona.
At least we're not in North Dakota.
Oofda!
Oofda! Oofda!
Oy vey.
Oofda!
Oofda's when your lottery ticket's torn to little bits.
Oofda's when you order steak and the waitress gives you grits.
Oofta's when the winter and your furnace up and quits.
Oofda, Lonnie Anderson's got some on there.
Dewey!
The mic is on.
Outfits.
Ladies and gentlemen, and here he is, the man of the hour, on his 90th birthday, General William Gates LeDuc. Here you go, great granddad. Right here.
Right here in the chair.
Yeah, right here.
How amazing is that? Thank you, dear.
Hey, tell us the story about the buffalo.
A buffalo.
It was a bison. Call it by its right name. You see, I made a rash statement to this Frenchman.
We may not have time for that story, great granddad. It's kind of long.
He had been banished to this lonely Minnesota outpost for his indulgence in whiskey. The Frenchman, not the bison.
Well said.
General LeDuc is the one who created that famous cracker line that got food to our Union troops.
Well, he built the steamboat pretty much out of spit and sawdust.
Yeah, and the only one he could find that knew how to steer a riverboat was a guy that didn't really know much of anything about steering a riverboat. What was his name?
Williams! Put your hands on the wheel, man! All right, take her to the left. Left, Williams! Oh, you see that campfire over there? Which troops are these?
9th Tennessee.
Did you hear the reply? It said 9th Tennessee. Who is your colonel?
Stokes.
Stokes. He said Stokes. Is there a Colonel Stokes on our side? Don't let the pressure get to you, man! You remember a Colonel Stokes, don't you? I thought so. Okay, these are our troops. Take her over to the shore. Good work, man.
But tell us the story about the buffalo.
It was a bison. I agreed to take it to New York for Minnesota's exhibit in the 1853 World's Fair.
What a wonderful story, sir. General LeDuc is also the one responsible for the idea behind the typewriter.
That was one ordinary critter.
The typewriter?
The bison! Now, he didn't start out ordinary, though. To get into New York, we had to use a steamboat, and all the roustabout riverboat hands would tease the poor thing out of boredom. They would take poles and poke at him and take wagers as to how many thrusts it would take before he charged the side of the pen. Oh, I can see the animal now. There! The animal became a raging beast. Back, you miserable beast! Oh, my goodness. Well, in St. Louis, we had to change boats, and there seemed to be no way to transfer the intractable beast from one boat to the other. Oh, excuse me, I'm a little exhausted.
Yeah, well, I remember. We got him up over the back gangplank, and he jumped right in the river. Now, that river was near flood stage, and there was freight piled around, and horses and mules trying to drag it to higher ground, and half of it was hogsheads of sugar. We all know about a buffalo.
Bison.
A bison. I mean, it's one of the most feared critters on this continent, particularly the horses and mules. Well, when we got our bison up on the riverbank,
He blew the water from his nostrils, shook his shaggy head, and bellowed furiously. I think he also lost his lunch at the same time. Well, the horses and mules fled in panic, dragging fully loaded drays, and in some cases draymen, into a kind of mayhem.
Don't say too much, Great-Granddad. We're still concerned about legal entanglements with the city of St. Louis, so...
Well, I can say that the river ran sweet with New Orleans sugar for days after the incident.
Did you all know that my great-granddad was the Secretary of Agriculture under President Hayes?
He became a curse upon my life.
President Hayes, sir?
The bison! In New York, my hired hands and I were moving the beast down Fifth Avenue toward his stable. I forget, dear, did I take my pills?
I think it's time for the general's nap.
But what happened on Fifth Avenue?
Well, the bison caused a fearsome accident. That's what happened. It involved a spooked horse, a wagon, and a lamppost.
yeah, and then we got the general out there before they knew what was going on.
3 years later, I was in New York amidst a group of men, and one rushed up to the other and clapped him on the shoulder, causing his friend to wince. Don't, he said. That's my broken shoulder. Got smashed up 3 years ago at fair time. He said, I'd like to get my hands on the son of the man who led that beast down Fifth Avenue while I was running my horse. Well, I just wandered up Broadway, happy in the knowledge the man had survived the accident.
We have to go now.
But wait, we haven't talked about the railroad.
I lost my money.
And the mine in Utah.
That too.
Ladies and
Lost everything
gentlemen,
but my
General William Gates LeDuc.
century brought them down, brought them down, brought them down. The storm of the century brought them down, those city people down.
November 11th, 1940, Armistice Day. We were all talking about the Gophers, the football team at the Armistice Day every line. They were number one in the nation. Again.
Winter seemed a long ways away. It was 60 degrees at noon. No one had any idea a storm could come up that fast.
On the edges of the river sat men in tiny boats, camouflage and khaki pants and lightweight hunting coats. They sat there with their shotguns and their dogs and decoy floats. And the storm of the century brought them down, brought them down, brought them down. The storm of the century brought them down, those mighty hunters down.
Suddenly, there were thousands of ducks. You could hear shotguns everywhere. We were thinking this was the best hunting we'd ever seen. What we should have been thinking was, what were all those ducks flying away from?
Then it hit. Rain, sleet, then snow and wind. We knew we had to move fast. We dropped our guns and felt our way through the snow.
A lot of hunters died. The next day, they brought in a body still frozen to a tree branch.
One young man kept warm by slipping in between his two hunting dogs. I bet those dogs slept with him every night after that.
The farmers all were working hard the day the blizzard came, taking care of livestock and getting in the grain, trying to put their fields to bed before the winter came.
And the storm of the century brought them down, brought them down, brought them down. The storm of the century brought them down, those steady farmers down.
The cows still had to be milked, so my neighbor lady set out for the barn. She lost her way and froze to death.
Yeah, and it rained first, so the turkeys got soaking wet. And then when the temperature dropped, they froze solid. So we loaded them in a trailer and hauled them to the barn. Once inside, they started thawing out. Some of them were still alive.
So they brought them into my house. I must have had 50 turkeys melting all over my floors.
150 people died in that storm, 49 of them from Minnesota.
And in all created storms he must have looked ahead and said, some storms will test my children's faith and fill their souls with dread. Oh, bless the ones left living and bless the ones left dead. And the storm of the century brought them down. to Carnegie Hall, don't you?
Practice, 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 Dad.
Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Excuse me, Mrs. Hauser. I'm trying to call Susie.
I'm sorry, I thought that was my ring.
Nope, your ring is ring, 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 ring.
Oh, I thought it was ring, 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 ring.
Get off the line, Shirley.
Oh, okay, goodbye.
Hi, Susie.
Yeah, hi, Mary Ellen.
Are you alone?
Yeah.
Well, hold on to your shorts and listen to this. Pamela Morganson just got engaged to Nell Stingle.
No.
Who else is on the line?
That almost sounded like our high school principal. Mr. Olson, is that you?
No. I mean, are you two girls done with your homework? Oh, never mind.
What a busybody.
Are they really engaged?
That's what Larry told me.
I said no such thing. I said they were acting like they were engaged.
Larry, are you listening in?
No! I just happened to pick up the phone.
Get off the line, Larry. Are they engaged or not?
Well, little Nicky Neubauer saw them Kissing down by the dock.
Little Pam gorged herself and kissing somebody, knew somebody down by the dock.
That's not all. Bryce Durkin said they spent the weekend together up in Minneapolis.
He's not that good a kisser. I know from experience.
You kissed him?
A couple of times. We even spent the weekend up with Helen in St. Paul.
Actually, it was Minneapolis, not St. Paul.
Pastor? Are you listening in?
I just picked it up and had to make a call.
How long have you been listening?
A second?
He must have been listening longer than that. Otherwise, how did he know that they were in Minneapolis?
Shirley, are you on the line again?
Oops.
Larry?
Oops.
Okay, is anybody else on this line?
No, just you and Mary Ellen.
Oops.
Rubbernecking on the party line. It's alright, it ain't no crime. Gotta keep track of all these neighbors of mine, neighbors of mine. I'm always double checking all of the time. I love to rubber on the party line.
Carrie Ann's new recipe for stew is a disaster.
The board in Zion Lutheran isn't happy with their pastor.
Jimmy broke his collarbone while slipping from a headlock.
Mrs. Palmer's cousin had a baby out of wedlock.
Buying Jerry's grocery is very close to folding.
Little Susie Gunderson could really use a scolding. She and Mary Ellen spent the night in Osceola, drinking beer and dancing with the college kids Victrola.
Rubbernecking on the party line. It's alright, it ain't no crime. I gotta keep track of all these neighbors of mine, neighbors of mine. I'm always double checking all of the time. I love to rubber on the party line.
The school principal, they say, was spotted in Stillwater, drinking with a woman young enough to be his daughter.
They caught Larry always smoking at the filling station. When his dad gets through with him, he'll need an operation.
Joe and Penny Olson, both of them were drunk on Friday.
Mrs. Shirley Hauser bought a black and satin nightie. She bought it in a shop when she was up in Minneapolis. Keeps it hidden in a box that's underneath the mattress.
Rubbernecking on the party line. It's alright, it ain't no crime. I gotta keep track of all these neighbors of mine, neighbors of mine. I'm always double checking all of the time. I love to rubber on the party line. Yes, I'm always double checking almost all of the time. I love to rubber it up, girl.
Get off the phone!
Suit up.
Ooh, that sounds like the mamas and the papas.
Sure does.
Try this out. All the leaves are gone.
All the leaves are gone.
They've been blown away.
They've been blown away.
You'd think it was fall,
It was fall.
but it's the 3rd of May.
I always say that when I'm shopping Target.
When I'm shopping Target, Minnesota dreaming.
Enough order on. Order in the court. The Honorable Judge Lord presiding.
Madam, I am here to discuss your conduct in the last case, where you so brutally tongue-lashed the defendant that you backed him into a small window opening and he could not get out without assistance.
Oh, I think it would be reasonable to charge me with being out of order, Your Honor.
Sounds fair.
And I will be prosecuting the case.
Very well.
Your Honor, after close consultation with the defendant, I have persuaded her to admit her wrongdoing. She pleads guilty, and I am recommending the penalty of a $5 fine.
Sounds reasonable. The defendant is hereby charged $5. Please pay the bailiff.
And then there's the question of my fee, Your Honor. As you know, I am paid by the case. And in this case, I must say I have performed admirably.
Take it easy.
In scarcely 5 minutes, I have brought the charges, consulted with the defendant, made the plea, argued the case, and recommended the sentence. This must be the most efficient trial on record in the county, if not the country.
And what, pray tell, is your fee in this case?
I will settle for $5. Thank you, Your Honor. It is always a pleasure to serve in your court.
To the President of the United States, President Lincoln, the sad condition of the Indians in this state compels me to address you on their behalf. My heart aches for these people. I ask only for justice for a wronged and neglected race. Signed, Henry Whipple, Bishop of Minnesota.
Can you hear the prairie grasses that are weeping in the wind, crying for the gentle footsteps of native moccasins, as the wheels of covered wagons cut a furrow through her skin? Oh, their mother earth is aching, and their native hearts are breaking.
Who's this, they ask in anger, leaving scars upon our earth? And Chataqqua's bloody carcasses rotting with no word. Who thinks their God has given them this homeland of our birth? Oh, our Mother Earth is aching, and our native hearts are breaking. Hear the spirits of their fathers crying harshly on the wind. Rise up, drive the invader from our land. And the prairie grasses whisper and the drumbeats sound again. These plains are yours, protect them, take a stand. Because your Mother Earth is aching. But they were few against the many when the bitter die was cast. And now fading from their memory is the life that could not last.
Their children's children will not know the richness of their past.
And their Mother Earth is aching, and their native hearts are breaking.
grasses whisper as the drum beats sound again. These flags are yours, protect them, take a stand, because your mother earth is aching.
Oh, hear the prairie grasses in the soft caressing wind, crying for the gentle footsteps of maiden moccasin. The romance of the prairie that will never live again. And then Mother Earth is aching, and their native hearts are breaking, and their Mother Earth is taking.
Why didn't Lincoln pardon all of them?
Well, that was the largest mass execution in United States history, and by some accounts, President Lincoln wanted to pardon all 303, but feared if he did so, a mob would lynch them all. Oh my, what do we have here? Nice. What's this?
Sure.
It's a cloudy night in 1932. Two Dakota County deputies, Joe Hyman and Norm Dieters, are waiting near the Spiral Bridge in Hastings. 7 hours they wait, and a car comes over the bridge. But just for a second, in the headlights of the car, Joe catches a glimpse of the face in the back seat. But a second is all it takes for him to recognize the face of...
Dillinger! It's him, Norm, just like we thought!
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's really him!
Step on it, Louie, we've been late.
Come on, Norm!
Well, we drove like the wind through the streets of the city, screeching round the corner.
Look out for the kitty!
We were heading down the highway and kicking up the road rocks and swerving like the town drunk.
Look out for the mailbox!
And the cows by the road went boom, boom, boom. And the men in the cars went
He's shooting at us, Joe! He's got a machine gun!
That no good thinks he can shoot at an officer of the law. Well, I'll show him. Get closer, Norm.
Well, they zipped up the low waves and they barreled down the highways and they dodged a few poles as they lurched through the byway. They burned a lot of rubber as they stepped on the gas and they ate more bugs than a pond full of men. And the engines in the car went boom, boom, boom. Oh, and that cop's big gun went boom, boom, boom. 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 Well, Dillinger and his henchmen thought they could ditch the cops by pulling the old switch the car maneuver, so they pulled over the unsuspecting Roy Francis family from South St. Paul.
All right, you. Out of the car. Out of the car now, or I'll plug it full of holes.
I do what he says. You know who he is, don't you?
Louie, shut your mouth.
Sorry, boss.
Get in the car.
Okay, seriously, we need you. The
Stand
cops are chasing us. I don't think you're getting the gravity of the situation here. Yeah. Do you want me to go to prison? I mean,
I'd rather not. Thank you. All right.
okay, here we go. People, geez, they don't get a car chase these things.
after he puffed on his great big cigar, the unstoppable force, the unbreakable wall, and the only sound a coyote calls.
The only sound a coyote calls. Oh. Yeah. All right. Yeah, one job.
Well, the man in the car had very little pity for the cop on the road or the people in the city. And his voice boomed out like a thunderbolt.
Glory, Louie. Run over that door.
Boom, boom, boom! And up from behind came Joe with his boom! And the gangster in the car went pew, pew, pew! Oh, and the cops on the road, they were shooting. Boom! He's going to bed! Boom!
Boss, I've been hit. Rosebud.
See you next time, coppers. All right. You see these mean-looking hombres? These are my men. And they are wanted in 4 states for causing mayhem and being just too few for words. Now, see here, y'all law-abiding citizens. This here Chataqua don't run on good intentions. It needs an infusion of cash to survive.
You said it, boss.
Lie down, Louie, you're dead.
Sorry, boss.
As I was saying, these hombres are going to pass the hats around, literally pass the hats around, for a free will donation that means I don't have to rob no banks to keep the Chataqua going. You have my word that a little money in those hats means nobody gets hurt. Yes.
Yes, indeed. We really would appreciate any and all help that you
Who are
can give
you?
us. Oh, I'm the preacher from the next scene. You go change.
Okay.
Lazarus, come forth!
Thanks, Rev. I got no change.
My pleasure. Now, you don't need to be afraid of these little hoodlums, but we would appreciate if you put $1 or $2 or $5 in those hats. And we will make this pledge that all of that will go to help make the Chataqua live on. We certainly appreciate it.
In the days of the rolling prairie, there was a preacher man. In the days when the rivers ran pure and sweet, there was a preacher man. In the days when the town was a house on a trail, and your next door neighbor was a fox and a quail. You couldn't send a letter 'cause there were no mail. There was a preacher man.
A Bible-toting preacher man.
Now the good news did travel wide, 'cause there was a preacher man. And the church began to blossom and grow, 'cause there was a preacher man. And the preacher walked till his feet were sore, and the people in the town heard the word of the Lord. They put in his hat what they could afford, the help of the preacher man.
A Bible-toting preacher man.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Oh, gather round ye, woman, child, and man.
Hallelujah!
This good book saves you any way it can.
And the preacher man's name was?
Wilcoxon, Timothy Wilcoxon. Good to meet you, my brethren.
In the days of the pristine forest, there was a lonesome wolf. In the days of the mighty buffalo herd, there was a lonesome wolf. His face was a nasty scowl, as through the forest he did prowl, looking for a dinner of fish or fowl. There was a lonesome wolf.
I'm eating
this wolf's name was...
Huh. I don't have a name. Oh, what the heck. Call me Ishmael. I wander around a lot. I don't understand why people don't like me. They just think I want to eat them for dinner. Which I do. But we can be friends up until dinner time.
Now the preacher man met Ishmael on a wide and open field, and the wolf had gone for 3 whole days without a solid meal. His eyes were dark and his face was thin. You could see his bones right through his skin, and on his face was an evil grin as he offered Brother Tim a deal.
Say, pal, let's be friends. I know a place just down the trail where we can have a nice dinner.
What do I look like? Little Red Riding Hood?
So the wolf took up another tack.
He circled round the preacher, looking for a chance to engage that steadfast man of God in a final solemn dance. The mean old wolf walked round and round. The preacher stood and held his ground. And then the preacher looked and found the Bible in his hand. Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Oh, help me, Lord, my soul is in your hands.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
And give this wolf religion if you can.
So holding up that sacred book, this bold and righteous man was blessed to have a single thought the wolf could understand. His attitude was resolute as he heaved that book right at the root and hit him in his big bad snoot, and off the rebel preacher ran.
I got a bloody nose, so I ran.
That's how the Bible saved the preacher man. Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
This good book saves you every way it can. Whoa, yeah!
Yes, that's how the Bible saved the preacher man.
My dear Hilda, the best thing about living in America is religious freedom. You don't have to go to the same church the king goes to just because he says you should. Here in Minnesota, you can attend any Lutheran church you want.
State your names.
James Younger.
Frank James.
Bob Younger.
Cole Younger, and I am completely repentant of everything you think I did, but I didn't actually do.
Would you agree with me when I say that you four and your pal Jesse James are the most miserable, good for nothing, low down, thieving, bank robbing, stagecoach robbing, and may I add train robbing, murdering band of miscreants ever to step foot west of the Mississippi?
Would you mind if we put our answer in the form of a melody? We've been working on this. Saddle up, boys, keel, whatever.
We weren't the only mellers that worked outside the law. Oh, there was lots of worse ones, just go away and ask our mom. But there was lots of bad guys riding across the plain, scaring folks and robbing banks and even robbing trains. Compared to other outlaws, we was pretty good. We gave some money to the poor, they called us Robin Hood. That wasn't the way the others did, they plundered and they killed. You'd be amazed how much they stole and how much blood they spilled. Oh, we had virtue, we wouldn't hurt you, as long as old you surrendered up your cash. We were the good ones, misunderstood ones. We rob you oh so slightly, then tip our hats politely, apologize contritely, then off we dash.
Oh, no, you don't. Now listen to this. Well, you and Jesse James, while you're out there with the worst, on a list of wanted criminals, your names are listed first. That thing regarding Robin was a sick and twisted joke. And don't you go denying that you killed a lot of folk.
There's the young man William Bonney, better known as Billy the Kid.
There's James the Killer Miller and the vicious stuff he did.
Butch Cassidy and Sundance, Sam Bass to name a few.
You're up there with the worst of them, you wicked youngers, you. Oh, you're the bad guys, you shoot and stab guys, you kill your victims and toss them in the trash. Oh, you're the villains, you're out for millions.
They think you're all so handsome.
You're wanted for a ransom.
Now don't you throw a tantrum. I found your stash. September 7th, 1876, you four were inside the bank with Jesse James, and there were two mean-looking hombres guarding the door. You, go be the mean hombres.
Yes, Mom.
Now, one of our citizens got suspicious.
Hey, something's wrong with the bank.
Somebody's robbing the bank? All right, somebody's robbing the bank.
Everybody take cover, take cover. Oh, one of our citizens has been shot right there in the buttocks. You're not going to be able to sit for a week. Get up.
All right, now, get that hombre, you guys. Get your pistols. Citizens of Northfield, get your pistols ready, ready? Now shoot him.
That was one.
All right, now get the other hombre.
So much left to live for.
Oh no, our friends have been shot. Let us flee. Oh, I've been shot 11 times if I was counting correctly.
Jesse James is still in the bank. Go get him. Careful, I hear he's pretty cute.
They escaped out the back.
Darn, we'll just have to get him in Missouri. Now, ain't that the way it happened, Cole?
It is beginning to come back to me. And now we are expressing and finally confessing that we really learned our lesson. Thanks for the cash.
I'm still dead.
No, you can get up now. Let me help you.
Now.
You do?
Yeah. Oof is when your underwear turns all your laundry paper.
Oof is when your wedding ring falls down the kitchen sink.
Below the warming's melting all the ice out on the rink.
Maybe.
And it oofed up does that lutefisk. Really, really stink.
It was hot. Sticky hot. The wind was blowing all morning. Then in the afternoon, the wind stopped all of a sudden. You could see this eerie yellow color in the sky. And then I heard my dad call.
Lester! Lester!
Oh, what, Dad?
There's a cyclone coming.
No, that's just dust, Dad.
Lester, it's a tornado.
No, Mom, that's just holy Hannah.
Run, Lester. TP, open the storm cellar.
Into the storm cellar. It's gaining on you, son. Run faster.
I'm running, Dad.
He's not gonna make it.
Run faster, Lester.
I have to go get him.
You can't help him get in the storm cellar.
I have to get my boy.
We'll be in the storm cellar, Lester. Lester.
He's up in the tornado.
So's the buggy.
Look out for the buggy, Lester.
Oh, here it comes. Get down.
It was me in that buggy up in that tornado. The wind was whipping us around, along with a few boards and some chickens. I flew a good 500 feet.
You flew further than the Wright brothers did at first, and you didn't even have an aeroplane.
That's what my teacher said.
Oh my goodness, Lester. I've never known anybody that's been up in a tornado before. Was it fun? How far did you see? Are you getting out of hospital?
That's what Mary Lou said.
When you hit the ground, a bunch of stuff fell on top of you. We thought you were a goner, Lester.
Well, I was in the hospital a long time. There was this pile of rubbish that used to be the schoolhouse, and sitting on top of it was 2 desks as pretty as you please, as if they were waiting for some kids to sit in them. And then Nelson's horse.
Yep, that big old stallion of mine, she got caught up too, although not the same time as you, Lester, but you can still see where she landed. Her sheep is right there in the ground. And she skidded some before she come to a stop.
The next day, there was the most traffic our little town had ever seen. We didn't have traffic laws, so the National Guard had to make some. Oh, me? I'm getting better. I can move around some. That's more than I can say for Nelson's horse. Poor thing. And that's my report on the tornado that hit Castle Rock on May 22nd, 1920. Thank you.
Eric, you live in St. Paul, right?
I sure do.
What do you like about living there?
Well, it's quiet, and it's peaceful for a big city.
I bet that's why they named it after a saint, huh?
Well, saintliness and peacefulness are not necessarily the same thing. Take a listen to this.
In the jazz age, in the bad old days, back in old St. Paul,
There weren't a lot of lawlessness, hardly none at all.
out through ship's face, Bonnie, full to the
Is how to cut a wedding cake?
Everybody, that is a Polish lady interviewing for a job at the stockyard.
And of course I know how to kill a cow.
Okay, we put a email address in the program, dakota10show@gmail.com. Do you have any ideas about something you would like us to write and perform about? Something to make fun of, or maybe a serious subject? Send us an email at that address, and by something that evokes Minnesota, let's say. Do you guys have any ideas what we could demonstrate?
Why don't we do that song we rehearsed? That's a great idea. Big fish by the side of the road. Big fish by the side of the road. The real curiosities, great big monstrosities. Big fish by the side of the road. Yeah. Up in Claudette, they've got a 40-foot fish, weighs 5 tons. It's called Willie Walleye. Willie is the world's biggest walleye. Up there on the border in Claudette. Compare to him, Jaws is just a small fly. He's Will the biggest walleye, 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 well you bet you know. Big fish by the side of the road.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
No, this is my solo. We practiced this. I'm the soloist. No. Nevis has a giant tiger muskie. Preston Raider
bit unorthodox. Cause he preferred to hang out